Hello, Mike Lawrence here, and welcome. Let's take another journey into the wild, wonderful world of guitar building. This is part 4 of building what I call a drop top cigar box guitar. In the last episode, we finished building the neck, and in this episode, we're going to do a little electronics and work on the body. We may finish it in this episode, we'll see. So let's get to work on that body. All right, now back to the body. As you can see, I have decided on the type pickup I'm going to put in. It's going to be a mini humbucker. And now I'm going to do some electronics. We'll have one volume, one tone. And these are Bourne's 500K audio taper potentiometers. I'll be using a 22 microfarad capacitor. I've got a Switchcraft output jack. And I'm going to have a mini humbucker. So we'll start soldering. We'll do the ground first. This wire will be the ground for the output jack as well as to ground the strings. All right, now I'm going to wire the hot wire to the output jack and the 22 microfarad capacitor together here. I'll just go ahead and wire up the output jack while I'm at it. So I'll solder the ground first, and then the hot. Okay, the next thing to do will be to hook up the pickup, and I'm not going to do that because I always do this wiring all I can. I don't always do it, but I know I've still got to work on the body and some finishing up work, so I will wait until everything is finished, practically done with it, and then I'll put the pickup in it, and I'll hook it up, and it'll work fine. So I get everything together, and then I remove it, do the finish, and do whatever I have to do to the body, and then after it's all finished, pretty much except the electronics, then I stick the electronics in it and be ready to play. Okay, I talked about this box in the introduction video to this series. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've done to it now. You can see I removed that label. And I removed the label in order to drop that top like I did. So here's the label that I removed. I'll probably put it back on there, but I'm not sure yet. Probably will. So the things I've done, I have, you can see, drilled out for the volume and the tone. I routed out for a mini humbucker, and of course the neck pocket. Then on the inside, okay, I've got a big heavy block of southern yellow pine in the front. And you can see I've reinforced around where the humbucker's going to go. And I also glued in a brace here, similar to what you might see in an acoustic guitar, to brace the top where the arch is. And of course there's the two holes for the potentiometers, and another brace across the back. Okay, then on the bottom of the guitar, on the bottom you can see I have routed out a opening for an access to the electronics, and I have made a cover for that hole and got all my screw holes lined up, and that'll look real good on there. And then of course on the inside I reinforced underneath that, got a brace in that one corner, and have opened up for an output jack. So what's going to happen is this box is going to be permanently glued together, and there'll be no more opening the box. And that's why we need that access opening. So all the electronics, everything inside the box that you would ever need to get to is going to be accessible through there and through the opening for the humbucker. So no need to ever open that box no matter what. And that'll make it much more solid and resonant, I would think. So I'm to the point now of gluing the box shut permanently. All right, the two halves are going together to never be opened again, ever. All right, here's the body or the cigar box all glued up, permanently closed together. It'll never open again. All right, the label is back on. Looking good. Well, you may notice that the body's a slightly different color now. But now what I'm going to do is put in 3 little small sound holes. So I got my sound holes cut out now. And I'm just going to add some little grommets in there. Anyway, that's what they'll look like. I think that'll look pretty good and sound pretty good. All right, the sound hole grommets are in solid now, and you can see I've drilled my holes for the bolt-on neck. I've got some of my cavities plugged up with paper towels, and that means I'm getting ready to put a little finish on it. The finish is on it, and there's nothing left to do except now hook up the electronics. You will find my signature inside this little guitar. All right, this is the lead from the humbucker, and this is a 4-wire humbucker. And that means if anybody ever had the need or desire to split the coils, you could do it. You could do it. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't have the need or the desire, so I'm not going to do that. And you'd also have to have a switch, an extra switch added, which would be no problem to do that. So I've got 2 connections to make. The black will be hot. The green and bare is the ground. And these 2 stay tied together, and I'll put a shrink wrap over that. So I'll solder these in, and all the electrical connections will be made. All right, the hot connection is made. Now for the ground. So ground is made. And now for some heat shrink over the two leads tied together. So let's see. Of course, I do this to prevent that from getting up against any of the circuitry in there and grounding anything out or shorting something out. And this will shrink up on there. And there'll be no possibility of that happening. Cut it off just a little bit too short. I like to squeeze the ends together for a little extra protection. So I just add a little bit on that too, so I can do that. And of course it's going to be hot when I do that. And that way it'll melt together. There we go. I clamped it together. That easy. So that completes that. And then back here on the end, this is the wire that's going to go to ground the strings. So I plan on hooking that to my tailpiece. Everything will be done as far as electrical. So I think I'll stop right here for the evening. It's getting late. It's almost 8 o'clock in the evening. Been working on this almost all day. So I'm going to stop right here. Okay, that's going to be it for this exciting journey into guitar building excellence. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click like and subscribe. That way you'll get to see what's coming up next. YouTube will notify you of that. So in the next video, I plan on finishing the guitar up. Hopefully it's going to play. We'll see. Tune in to find out. Take good care. Be safe. See you next time. Goodbye.